What's up, my friends? Welcome back to the REF Scents channel here on YouTube. I hope you all are doing super well today. So we talk about fragrances in a number of different categories on this channel. We talk about what ages these fragrances work best for. We talk about their price ranges, what season of the year these fragrances work for. We even talk a lot about what notes exist in fragrances. Now, all of these things are well and good, but there are some times when these things can become so much of the focus that we tend to lose sight of what should be one of the biggest focuses in fragrances. When do you wear the fragrance? For what occasion are these fragrances appropriate? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to give you 5 social events or social situations that somebody may find themselves in where these specific fragrances are appropriate. And I'm going to give you 2 fragrances each. So I hope you're ready for some awesome information. Let's go. Now for this video, we're actually not going to get as in-depth about the notes in these fragrances that we sometimes do. Yeah, I'm going to talk about some of the notes, but this video is more about what these fragrances make a person feel like in certain scenarios. Okay? Okay. So this first scenario we're going to talk about is the casual daytime fragrance. Okay? What do you wear when it's sunny outside? You're not going to be stuck indoors. It could be warm outside, it could be a little bit cooler, but either way, the sun's shining down and it's a beautiful day outside. The first fragrance is going to be Chanel's Allure Homme Sport. Now, first off, this is a little bit of a pricier fragrance, as most Chanel fragrances are, but this is also one that I think is the most worth its money. It is an aquatic fragrance. It definitely has that watery tone to it, and it's got a sweet dry down. It's actually vanilla. It kind of smells a little bit like a vanilla custard as it dries down. But this fragrance gets recommended to people to go to school, for casual days, for just an everyday reach, and neither of these are wrong. But because of this bright aquatic note, I definitely recommend this as a daytime scent. Now, this next fragrance is going to be a niche fragrance that leans more floral. This is from Lise. It's called Rose Struck. And as you can tell, like I said, it's floral and it is very rose heavy. But this fragrance is bright and it is invigorating. It's got a really good burst of citrus on the opening, and then it dries off into that floral rose with a little bit of, like, I think the note is matcha tea. But I don't get too much of that in there. I typically think of this fragrance as one that mixes Dolce & Gabbana's Light Blue Forever with Moschino Toy Boy, but the Moschino Toy Boy is not going to be spicy, and the Light Blue Forever is not going to be as intense with the citrus on the top. You put those two things together and you've got Lise Rose Struck. I wore this the other day. I got a lot of compliments from it, and it really made me just feel alive outside during the day. I had a really nice shirt on, and it was just perfect for what I needed it for. So definitely check out Rose Struck from Lise. Next up, we're talking about fragrances that are great to wear for when you want to go out with just the guys. We're not trying to be romantic. We're not trying to woo anybody. We just want to have fun with our friends. And this first fragrance is perfect for such an occasion. It is Azzaro Wanted by Night. And this is one of my first fragrances that I owned, and I still love it to this day. It is my favorite from the Azzaro Wanted line. Now, what makes this one the best out of any of the other fragrances in this line for a guy's night out is because it is sweet but spicy at the same time. It's got a citrusy opening, but it's also got some vanilla, a little bit of spicy cinnamon, and tobacco in here. And that tobacco just really brings about this masculine type of vibe. A lot of people say it's best to wear for the fall and winter time, but if you're out in the evening, I think it'll be fine year round. Okay, Azzaro Wanted by Night is great. I think people will love it. I still love it to this day, and it's not too terribly expensive. Now, if you want to get a little more posh and kind of turn a few more heads with the quality of the fragrance, I would go with Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. The Ombre Leather is an elegant type of leather fragrance. If you want to act like you are probably more wealthy than you are. I've been guilty of doing that a few times. But if you want to act like you're wealthy, feel like you're wealthy, this is definitely a fragrance that will help you do just that. The scent profile smells like a brand new leather jacket that you've pulled off of the rack. There's no spice to it. It's very smooth. It's very easy on the nose, and it's not going to be offensive whatsoever. The drawback on this one is the price. This is a 50 milliliter bottle that you're probably going to find for around $160 to $180. The price to me, I think, is worth it because it does smell really freaking good. And the longevity and the performance, I have no complaints. Some people have told me that theirs is not the best on their skin, but that may have to do with their particular body chemistry, you know. But for me, I get about 7 to 8 hours off of this. So Tom Ford Ombre Leather and Azzaro Wanted by Night. All right, teenagers and young adults, pay attention because we're talking about fragrances that are appropriate for school. And it doesn't matter if you're in middle school, high school, college, or even if you stayed on to become like a doctor or something, these will be good for grad school as well. And this first fragrance, it's a pretty inexpensive fragrance. You can find it online. You can find it in rack stores. I myself got it in TJ Maxx for $50, $45 as a complete blind buy, and I was not disappointed. It is Mont Blanc Emblem Intense. God, look at that stupid bottle. I hate these bottles from the Emblem line, but I will say the scent profile is right on. It smells so good. It's a little bit sweet. It's a little bit spicy. It's a little bit woody. But when all of these things are put together, it just makes for a really good casual fragrance that is really nice for school. It can be worn spring, summer, fall, or winter. And it gives off kind of the same vibe as something like Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce or Mont Blanc Legend. And the longevity, it's about 6 hours, 5.5, 6 hours, sometimes 6.5, depending on if it's hot outside. If it's hot, it's going to last a little bit less time. If it's cooler outside, it's going to get a little more longevity. But this is a really good fragrance to pick up. I think it's phenomenal. Definitely give this one a try. And next up, one that I recommend a lot and I still use to this day, it is Rasasi Hawas. Oh, such a burst of energy I get from this one. This is definitely a spring and summertime fragrance, but when it comes to being in school, guys, pay attention, because when you're in high school, when you're in middle school even, fragrances that are more appropriate for spring and summer are usually the ones that you want to go for no matter what season it is, because being inside, you don't want to be offensive and blast people out of the room with your loud wintertime fragrance. So this one right here, it is an aquatic fragrance. It's got some really sweet notes on top like plum, a little bit of apple, and it is so freaking amazing. I get 10 hours of longevity with only 2 or maybe 3 sprays depending on how much I want to stand out. But it is great for the spring and summertime especially, but fall and wintertime it can be worn if you wear it indoors. But Rasasi Hawas, this is definitely one you want to go for. Check it out. Here we are at spot number 4 on our list, and we're going to be talking about fragrances that are professional and office safe. Now, what that means is these fragrances are not going to give off the wrong impression of us. We have to make sure that we are staying business-minded, that we are smelling a little more mature, and that we're not going to be attracting unwanted and inappropriate attention. And this first fragrance fits the bill perfectly. It is a fragrance that has been rumored actually to have been discontinued, but it's been that rumor for a year and I still see it for sale all over the place. It is Acqua di Gio Profumo. Oh man. Oh, I absolutely love this one. When I worked in an office setting, this one got me tons of compliments and people absolutely loved it. Now, it's aquatic and fresh, much like the original Acqua di Gio was. However, this one has an added note of incense to it that brings out a little more maturity and is definitely going to be great for a professional setting. The longevity's there. It lasts about 8 hours. The price point is between $85 and $100 for a larger bottle, depending on where you shop. But Acqua di Gio Profumo, I 100% love this one. I know it's really popular, but I'm gonna stand behind it. This next one is one that was sent to me as a gift from Twisted Lily. And I really took to this. And I am going to talk a little bit about the notes here, because before it was sent to me and I read what I was getting, I looked through the notes and I could have sworn it was going to be a fall and winter scent, but nothing could have been further from the truth when I opened it up and sprayed it. It is 8 and Bob, the original. Oh, yes. So when I say it seemed like it was going to be a fall and winter scent, like, listen to these notes: cedar, some guaiac wood, some hazelnut, ambergris, vanilla, and sandalwood, and some patchouli as well. These are usually cold weather notes, you know what I'm saying? And the top notes, I didn't think they would play as big of a part, but they ended up playing a huge part. Got some cardamom, ginger, lemon, and bergamot in the top. But when all of these come together, it forms more of an aromatic, woody fragrance, not a really thick and really heavy setting fall and wintertime fragrance that I thought I was going to be getting. It's not heavy on the vanilla, it's not heavy on the cedar, it's not heavy on the hazelnut. They're just kind of in there, bringing about a much bigger and a much better fragrance itself. 8 and Bob, definitely going to be good for the office. I get about 6 hours off of my skin with it. Going to be more of a spring, summertime scent, but like I said, when you're indoors and everything, it's not really going to matter. But 8 and Bob, 100% amazing. Last up on this list, we're going to be talking about romantic fragrances, the ones that are good for date nights. And surprise, I'm not going to be discussing Armani Stronger with you. You guys know that I love that one as a date night scent, but I needed to kind of hit on some other things. The first one is going to be from Jean Paul Gaultier. It is not La Mel, it is Ultramel. Ultramel is one of the most romantic fragrances from the La Mel line, and there are a billion flankers of La Mel, and I think this is probably my favorite one. Even better than the La Mel Le Parfum, the Le Beau Le Parfum. This one I think wins. Now, it has some sweeter top notes like some pear, some lavender, a little bit of mint, but it's also heavy on the vanilla and a couple of other fruity notes through there. But overall, this one is just very, it's kind of like a more romantic version. A more romantic version, I would say, of something like Versace Eros than it is to the original La Mel. Regardless of the fact, though, it smells absolutely amazing and it is very pleasing. It gets about 8 hours of longevity. The price point, it's not too terribly expensive, anywhere between $60 and $85, but it is absolutely worth it for this fragrance. And this second one that I'm going to be talking about, it used to be a cheapie, but fragrance influencers like myself, we started really hyping this one up, and once it gained popularity, the price, it started going up as well. It is Mercedes-Benz Club Black. I about said Club de Nuit, I don't know why. It is Mercedes-Benz Club Black, and I blind bought this one based off of a fragrance recommendation to me, and I completely fell in love with it. It is a very strong vanilla-based fragrance. It also has a little bit of amber and a little bit of benzoin. Benzoin is kind of like a resinous kind of tree sap that's also got some quality of tonka bean and some quality of vanilla to it, but it is absolutely stunning as a romantic fragrance. I even told my friend Grant about this fragrance, and he smelled it for the first time and immediately turned around and bought 2 more bottles of this because he fell in love with it. So it is definitely worth your time to look into the Mercedes-Benz Club Black if you really want to smell romantic. And there we go, my friends. This is a very important topic to discuss and understand when we're talking about fragrances. You have to make sure that you're wearing the right thing at the right time. Now, I understand that there are going to be those of you that say that fragrances should be more about what the wearer likes and not so much about what people think of them. I agree with you to a certain point, but if you're in a work environment, you don't want to be smelling a certain way that could turn off people that you come into contact with. It will have an adverse effect on you. And there are also fragrances out there that are meant to smell good year-round, morning, night, fall, winter, formal occasion, date night. They exist, Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum, but you want to make sure that you've got the right thing for the right place and not the wrong thing for the wrong place. That's all I'm saying. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out all of my other channels and yada, 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 man. Just know that I love you, okay? You guys have a good one. We'll see you soon.